I don't know if everyone knows, but Dallas Morning News, longtime news writer Chuck Carlton passed away yesterday. Our condolences to his family, well-respected sports writer in this area that had been covering our series, as recently as our trip into Minnesota this week. So sad day for the Dallas Stars, but, also for sports and news and his family, and our condolences. So thinking about them. And all right, now on. Can you give me that question again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Just what you talked about the challenge of the last game. Just what changes in that in that desperation from the other team in that situation?
I think. Listen, the way the series went, we got behind early and we were chasing it. We scratched and clawed our way back to a situation where, we had an opportunity to really take a stranglehold and control of the series with a win yesterday. And I think we recognized the importance of that and came out and delivered.
You said it several times after the game last night that you thought you've been playing better as the series is progressing.
Mm-hmm.
What specifically do you think have you guys been doing better, and what do you need to focus on tomorrow?
Well, I think, just little things. I mean, I thought last night we cleaned up the odd man situations. We only gave up one or two compared to, a handful in Minnesota, which is a key to us winning this series. So we're making adjustments. We're cleaning up things on a nightly basis. What's been consistent through the entire series has been our special teams, but even our penalty kill has been better the last couple of games. I thought we leaked a little there early in the series. That's gotten better. The power play's been consistent. Our 5-on-5 game, I think, is getting better, and we're adding some things. They're not an easy team to score at 5-on-5. They defend really well. One of the top 2-3 teams in the league in not giving up anything, and I think our patience in working through that is getting better as the series goes on.
The underlying numbers, at least what we see publicly, have been really good for Ryan Suter.
Yeah.
What has he been doing this series that's kind of worked? I know playing with Miro helps, but
yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah. No. Suits has been. I think playing at an elite level. Really, probably the last 10 games of the season and into the playoffs. So, he had a good season, but I think he's one of those veteran guys I've talked about that has everything on his resume but a Stanley Cup. And I think he knows where he's at in his career. He knows there's limited opportunities to get to this point. And, him, Joe Pavelski, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, there's a lot of guys there that, are recognizing the situation.
With Joe obviously been progressing and everything, is there any chance he travels with you guys?
I think there's a chance he travels for sure. Yeah, I think he's planning on traveling.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would call him a game time decision right now. We'll see. Haven't seen him today. He's getting better every day.
Plans on skating tomorrow? Sorry.
Yeah, he'll skate tomorrow. Yeah.
You guys do a lot on analytics. Are analytics magnified in a 7-game series, or does it change at all?
I think the main analytic is wins, right? I mean, we were on the wrong side of the analytics in Minnesota. Game 4 found a way to win. We were on the right side of them in Game 1 and lost. So, I think you have to take them with a grain of salt this time of year. The key component here is finding ways to win games and at the important time. And, it's the important time right now.
We've talked about this before during the season, but team that score first in this series is 5-0. How do you kind of balance wanting to score first with not, like you mentioned during the season, not overplaying that to where it just becomes deflating and you kind of lose focus if you don't score first?
Yeah. Well, we don't spend a lot of time on it. I mean, I think we all know that stat, but, we don't spend a lot of time as a group talking up the importance of it. If you talk about it, I don't think the guys are going to try harder to score first. Everyone's trying harder to score first, So if it happens, it happens. I think I liked our start. Last night's probably the best start we've had at home here. we want to continue to build on that. If we do, we've got a good chance to score first. And, you know, if we don't, you know, that doesn't mean the game's over. I mean, those stats aren't carved in stone. You know, we can be the one team that goes 1-5 and figures out a way to come back if we don't score first on Friday night.
One more regarding Joe, just, you've talked about it on the individual standpoint as far as guys who've stepped up, but what does it say about the depth of this team that as much as you miss him,
Yeah.
you've been able to go along as well as you have?
Yeah, I mean, that's everything come this time of year, and that's why you see, you know, Jim Nill go out and get Max Domi and Dodonoff, and, you know, why we've brought up some of our best players from the American League, Thomas Harley, Olofsson, on and on. You know, you need depth. You've got to have interchangeable parts. It's a war of attrition this time of year. There's injuries. There's all kinds of things that go on, and you gotta have a next man up mentality where your team, you know, doesn't dwell on that kind of stuff. And I think we've done a real good job with that. You know, obviously with a key piece out.
Piggybacking off that, Radek has done a really good job on the fourth line. How
Mhm.
important is it to have a guy like Radek and
Yeah.
Luke and everybody on the fourth line?
Yeah, I mean, you know, those guys, you know, their value isn't measured in scoring. It's obviously in killing penalties, winning faceoffs, being able to shut down the other team when they're out there. You know, I think, you know, we put out our fourth line. If you're a coach on an opposing bench, you know, that the first thing that comes to mind is I'm going to get out Kaprizov here and try and create a mismatch. Well, those guys are so solid defensively that, you know, we have a real comfort level that that's not an issue for us, and that's a great luxury to have.
Pete, this is the first time you guys will have 2 days between games. What do you think that extra day is going to do for Game 6 for both teams?
Yeah. Well, it's been a physical series, right? And you can see it wearing on both teams. So I think the extra day for everybody, I think, is well needed. And, you know, it's just going to let you fill up the tanks a little bit to go back at it here for Game 6 and potentially Game 7.